in, anyone, or anyone not sign in, I do also want to mention that the president of the Taunton Firefighters Union, Jay Lawrence, is here. Sorry. Oh, you don't want me to say Sherry Costa Hanlon is here? So I just have a few thank yous before I get to my remarks. Of course, I want to thank my wife, Christy. Nothing I do would be possible or worth it without your love and support. Also, thanks to my mom, Jeanette. And my in-laws are here, Betsy and Tom down. A big thanks also to my kids, Matt and Jaden. Matt is here. Jaden is probably working as they should be. I have to say I'm really proud of the smart, strong, brave, and kind people that they've become. No parent could have that. Thanks to my campaign team, Christy and Matt are on the team. Maria Prado is my treasurer. Kelly Cardoza, former Massachusetts Teachers Association Vice President and current TEA Vice President Janet Anderson, who is here. Thank you. Oh yes, former TEA President Nancy Everidge, my good friend Susan Griffin, Jamie Kelly, Olivia Thomas, who was my first partner on Good Government Day. She has just been a delight, and she's now part of the campaign team. So I'm really grateful to have gotten to know her. During her first few weeks at South Regina. My good friends John and Laura Hoey, my friend Alberto Rivas was here as well, and of course my dear friend, former TEA and MTA president, my co-host on the Silver City Meeting House, and school committee member, Carol. And of course, thank you to all of you who supported my campaign, voted for me, and encouraged others to vote for me. I may have mentioned once or twice that I'm a social worker. It's not just my job, it's who I am. And whether I'm working or volunteering with children and families who are struggling with poverty and violence, with adults who are experiencing a substance use disorder or some other mental illness, whether I'm organizing events, working on a team to fill gaps in essential services, sitting in one of the 9 seats in the council chambers, I bring my social work skills, beliefs, and values with me. They're as much a part of me as my sunny disposition. So, thank you for giving me this seat at the table. For a social worker like me, working together with people who have great skills and knowledge, building partnerships and consensus, finding real solutions to real problems, this is like candy and ice cream and a really good cup of coffee all rolled into one. So yes, thank you for all of this. Thank you for giving me the space to add to my work with the Taunton Opiate and Substance Use Task Force. These great people, Ellen Brudamore-Abramowitz, Ann Bisson, Lori Gonzalez, Patrolman Steve Turner, Marsha Richardson, Nancy Phillips, Lisa Robitaille, Nora Orfanello, Bill Mulcahy, and Laura Brando. Together we developed and launched an overdose outreach program and the Taunton Opens Doors to Recovery Drop-In Center. With scores of local agencies, we continue to push back on the impact of the opiate crisis. Thank you for giving me this space to meet and work with John Gray. Together we created the Agricultural Commission charged with supporting local agriculture. And I am thrilled anytime anybody wants to get more involved in our community. I'm grateful to have folks like Will McCaffrey, Carol Doherty. We keep going back to Carol Doherty. You gotta take a rest. Katie Roberts, Jenna Gouveia, and Arthur Lopes for their work on this brand new Agricultural Commission. It's their work that will help this seed to grow. See what I did? thank you for giving me this space to build relationships with people like Phil Duarte and Jim Dufresne and John Gray, who have a passion for sustainable energy. I'm very excited about their new project, Sustainable Taunton, and really would love to see that take off, and hopefully I'll have an opportunity to be more supportive. Thank you for giving me this space to work with the Taunton Public Schools Director of Student Services and Transportation, Kathy Perry, and Parker Middle School Principal Mike Byron, and over a dozen local businesses and agencies to put together our first annual Health and Wellness Summit. Kathy and I have already had early talks about working more closely together for the second event. Thank you for giving me this space to bring experts into the council chambers, meeting with the Human Services and Elder Affairs Subcommittee. Anne Marie Matulis and Tracy Medeiros inform the council and our community about the very real suicide crisis facing our community. Mayor Hoy and our HR Director, Lynn Davin, have been receptive to a plan to train all city employees in QPR, simple but effective practice to notice warning signs and get people help when they need it most. Madhavi Venkatesan came all the way up from Brewster to meet with the Public Health and Environmental Affairs Subcommittee and help us start our discussion about how to deal with single-use plastics. Thank you for giving me this space to get to know our skilled and knowledgeable city employees. Ann Bisson and Charlene Bonifant in our Human Services Department are doing amazing work on the opioid crisis and with our seniors. I look forward to helping them expand what they offer. Colleen Doherty, Executive Director of the Taunton Housing Authority. I got a call from a resident of one of the apartments who said that the AC in the apartment building broke down. I called Colleen, and she and her staff could not have been more helpful, keeping tabs on the repair work, checking in on the residents, and making sure that everyone was okay during some of the hottest days of the summer. Our Director of Planning and Conservation, Kevin Scanlon, and our Law Department have been immensely helpful on so many occasions, and I've learned so much from them. The staff in the Assessor's Office has helped me to better understand how property taxes work, and have gotten me started on a bit of a research project on all the ways the state allows you to give tax breaks to senior citizens. Who knew? And it doesn't actually cost us anything. Who knew? What kind of a deal is that? Our city employees are amazing. The list goes on and on and on. Thank you for giving me this space to work with my colleagues on the council. Together, we're navigating the complex and demanding requirements of the new recreational cannabis law. It has not been easy, but I believe we've created a structure that will ensure that Taunton gets the most good and the least bad from this emerging industry. Together, we're exploring ways to join the worldwide effort to limit single-use plastics. While the State House is considering a statewide solution, we're also considering joining the more than 100 cities and towns in Massachusetts in crafting a local ordinance. Together, we're moving forward on plans for trash disposal after the landfill closes next year, and for upgrading our wastewater treatment plant. You probably heard on Tuesday, we got some contracts in. Things seem to be moving along pretty well. David Pottier and the rest of my colleagues, Jerry Frodo and Don Cleary and the rest of the team, we're all trying to figure it out. And your input on a short-term and long-term plan will be greatly appreciated. I know I'm not mentioning everyone, but if I keep going, the Patriots fans will start looking at their watches and the hairy eyeball. So that's my thank you list, and now on to my speech. Just kidding. This is the short part. When I meet with my clients at the Department of Mental Health, one of the first things we do is create a plan for working together. And I usually get the process started with asking these two questions. What kind of person do you want to be? And what kind of life do you want to live? So I ask you, Taunton, what kind of community do we want to have? What kind of lives do we want to live here in Taunton? If you want to live in a community where everyone gets a fair shot, where everyone does their fair share, where everyone plays by the same rules, and when someone falls down, we help them up. If that's the kind of community you want to live in, then let's work together. Let's work together to ensure that everyone in our community is safe from abuse, harassment, and oppression. Let's work together that to ensure that the prosperity of our community is felt by everyone, no matter what street they live on. And let's work together to ensure that everyone has access to the resources they need to support their physical and mental health. Thank you all so much for all of that, and thank you to everyone who contributes to making our community so amazing. Thank you very much.